Hey everyone, me Kevin here on the next rounds of Stimulus, an interview with Steve Mnuchin, a timing update, and money and market updates. We're now 63 days from the election, and we just hit 6 million cases of COVID in this country. Remember, the coupon code for the YouTube Make Money From Home course, the real estate investing course, and the Money, Stocks, and Happiness course ends tonight. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin was just interviewed on Lou Dobbs Tonight, Fox Business. To give us the latest, here's what we learned. Some of it is a lot of what we've heard before, along with a little bit of a progress update. Steve Mnuchin said, "Unfortunately, the Speaker and Schumer do not want to negotiate in good faith. They've refused to meet. We've reached an agreement on many items, but unless we give them the top line, they don't want to negotiate." By agreement, Steve Mnuchin is referring to an agreement between Democrats and Republicans to provide $150 billion for schools, stimulus checks, more PPP funding, and money for testing and treatments. These are things that are already agreed on. We just need the vessel, the bill, to actually get this done now. And the big problem, the big holdup, Democrats want $2.2 trillion and Republicans want $1.3 trillion. To this, Steve Mnuchin says the president wants us to help with more money for kids and jobs. We can put another $1 trillion in now, and we can always come back for more. We have had a great economic comeback, but there is still a lot of work to do. Mnuchin goes on to say, quote, "Mark Meadows and I have been hosting daily calls with Republicans in the Senate, with Mitch McConnell and with Kevin McCarthy in the House. Hopefully Mitch will enter new legislation next week," says Steve Mnuchin. "Parts of the economy have opened quickly, but parts are still suffering." By the way, this bill we're expecting from Republicans in the Senate is the bill that we think Republicans might be able to pass in the Senate, which they could then use to pressure Democrats and eventually get some kind of negotiation done. Remember, right now, one of the reasons the negotiation is at a standstill is because Democrats have passed a bill, the HEROES Act. They passed that about 100 days ago. On the other hand, Republicans have not passed anything yet. They introduced the HEALS Act, and now they're planning on introducing yet another bill. Quick reminder on stimulus checks. Stimulus checks remain a popular tool and remain popularly supported by congressmen and women. However, we need a bill passed first to see these. The expectation is if we see this bill signed into law by the last week of this month, September, I guess that's next month because we're still in August, we could start seeing checks rolling out by the first 2 weeks of October. People with the stimulus debit cards would obviously get paid first, along with direct deposit payments. Now, of course, we know that $1,200 is still somewhat too little too late, and this is why we're all anxiously waiting for updates on the text of the bill to see if we're going to see any kind of revision to that number. Moving on from Mnuchin. On Twitter, House Republicans stated that Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats continue to hold up common sense bipartisan coronavirus relief while American families are left out to dry. Enough with the partisan gamesmanship, Speaker Pelosi. To this, Democrats responded and said, "Your attempt at relief leaves out $600 emergency unemployment assistance, the per-week payments, an extended eviction moratorium, which most loans currently do not have any kind of eviction protections, or most properties don't. We saw FHA just come out with a new rule that eviction protections will be extended and foreclosure protections will be extended for the rest of the year, but that only protects and helps FHA-related properties, not the majority of properties in America." The tweet went on to say that Democrats are demanding more aid for the United States Postal Service and sufficient funding for testing and tracing. They finish off their tweet by saying, "Not sure what's, quote, common sense about that," aka they're slapping Republicans saying, "Not sure what's common sense about leaving out all of these other items like the extended eviction, the unemployment, and so on and so forth." On markets, most quality or safe stocks are skyrocketing. Zoom, for example, right now is up 25.6%. DocuSign is up 6.7%, and this is just in after hours. A lot of these were up during the day as well. Tesla is up another 2.9% on top of the 12% that they were up during the day. Here's a look at the charts, and folks, the stock market is very green in the quality sector. Anything that has been deemed lower quality, like Macy's or some of the retail, are doing much worse, Cinemark, and so on. There have also now been numerous reports about the fact that only 6% of COVID deaths are directly attributable to COVID-19 without comorbidities or underlying health conditions. Lou Dobbs, for example, asked Steve Mnuchin, what's going on with this? Why can't the CDC get their facts straight? Is this just a fake news pandemic? Which is what some people say. Others like to say, well, I mean, that's not really fair. That's kind of like saying, well, I mean, if you got shot with a gun and you bled out, well, you died because you bled out. It wasn't the gunshot that killed you. There's a lot of this debate going on. It seems like it follows pretty much partisan lines. Unemployment. The only states yet to apply for the unemployment boost are Nebraska, North Dakota, and DC. Also, Tennessee, Texas, Montana, Missouri, Louisiana, and Arizona have had at least 4 weeks of retroactive pay paid out, and Arizona has paid 5 weeks. On childcare, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, want more money for kids and schools. This is becoming increasingly important. The Chamber of Commerce estimates that just in one state alone, a lack of childcare is estimated to cost employers as much as $2.8 billion annually in lost productivity, absences, and turnover rate. Northeastern University finds that during the pandemic, working parents lose an average of a day of working productivity every week due to a lack of childcare. And a study released by the National Association for the Education of Young Children estimates that 40% of childcare facilities will close without federal aid. Anyway, the day has been relatively quiet in terms of news, so here's the quick update for you. Thank you so much for watching. Use that coupon code down below. Remember, you can still get life insurance in as little as 5 minutes and 2 free stocks with Webull. That promotion is supposed to end today, so remember, get those 2 free stocks with Webull. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.